All right, Raider Nation, we've got some serious updates to dive into, and I got to tell you, the energy around Las Vegas has been electric lately. You know that feeling when the team is slowly starting to click, and you can just sense a shift in momentum? That's exactly where we are right now. Let's start with Ashton Jensen, because honestly, this rookie has been quietly transforming the offense. Early in the season, he didn't look like the same guy we've been talking about in draft hype, right? He was getting the carries, but it didn't feel like he was making the impact everyone hoped for. It's almost like he needed to find his footing, and when he adjusted his stance, everything seemed to change. Suddenly, the hesitation, the uncertainty, it all disappeared. You could see him hitting the line harder, breaking tackles, and looking like he belonged in the NFL from day one. There's been a lot of chatter about whether the team is relying on him too much or not enough, and I get it. With any rookie, you have to balance development with durability. You don't want to push someone too hard too fast and risk injury by midseason. But the thing is, the Raiders have started trusting him more, and you can tell. The workload is creeping up, and in these last few games, Jensen has been carrying the rock 20 times or more in a game. Against the Titans, he rumbled for 75 yards and even found the end zone. The game before that, facing the Bears at home, he exploded for 138 yards with another touchdown. That's the kind of efficiency and consistency that makes you believe this offense can lean on the run, and it changes the dynamic of everything. And it's not just about the numbers. The kid is resilient. He can take hits, dish out punishment, and still get back up ready to go. There's a toughness there that you can't teach. You start watching him in game after game, and it's clear this isn't a flash in the pan. The Raiders are shaping him to be a central piece of the offense, and I genuinely feel like the best football is still ahead for him. He's a key reason why the team could start stringing together more wins as the season progresses. There's a rhythm starting to form, one that relies on a strong running game to take some pressure off the passing attack, which has been inconsistent at times. Speaking of impact players, we got to talk about Devin White. If you think about leadership and presence on defense, this guy is a prime example. He's a veteran, a Super Bowl champion, a former Pro Bowler, and now he's rocking silver and black. Some people might have counted him out after previous seasons, but White is proving he's still got it. He's not intimidated by star quarterbacks or big-name tight ends. When it came to talking about Patrick Mahomes and facing a high-powered offense, he was clear-eyed and confident, basically saying he's not afraid. He's going to be poised and ready. And that mentality? That's contagious. It sets a tone for the younger players, shows them how to approach a big game with focus, and reminds everyone that experience matters. There's also that matchup excitement with Travis Kelce. Devin White isn't just confident for the sake of hype. He believes in his ability to win on the field. That kind of self-assurance on defense is exactly what the Raiders need going up against one of the toughest offenses in the league. Momentum is huge in football, and when your defensive leaders are carrying that kind of mindset, it can flip the energy in a game. The Chiefs are hot right now, but the Raiders have chance. Every time someone counts them out, it's the perfect scenario for a surprise. It's the kind of any given Sunday mentality that fuels rivalry games in the AFC West. Now, let's pivot back to offense for a minute because the story doesn't stop with Jensen. Jacoby Myers has been making headlines, and there's been a lot of speculation about his future. Even though he's in the final year of his contract and teams are showing interest, the Raiders aren't ready to move him yet. It's an intriguing situation because he's dealing with some injuries, sitting out practices, and the timing has raised eyebrows. But here's the thing. When a team is balancing the development of its rookie running backs and trying to maximize its playmakers, decisions like this are part of the chess game. The Raiders are weighing options, and while Myers' future might be uncertain, for now, he's still a part of the plan. Meanwhile, Raheem Mower has also been quietly showing value. He's been limited in action, but when he's out there, he makes plays. You see what he can bring to the table as a complementary back to Jensen. He can shift the pace, create explosive plays, and give the offense a different dynamic. Some may talk about trading him, but it's hard to imagine the Raiders letting go of that kind of weapon, especially when they're trying to build a balanced attack with both youth and experience. All of this feeds into the larger picture. The Raiders are starting to find their identity this season. The combination of veteran leadership, emerging young talent, and strategic game planning is creating a team that is becoming harder to predict. When Jensen finds the holes, when White commands the defense, and when other key pieces contribute in the right moments, you start to see a squad capable of competing with anyone. The potential is undeniable, and the energy in the locker room, on the field, and among the fans is reflecting that. You can feel it in the way the team prepares, the way they execute plays, and even in small moments that might not show up in the box score. It's about rhythm, trust, and belief in each other. The Raiders are showing that they're learning how to manage their rookies while leaning on seasoned veterans, and that balance is critical as the season moves forward. It's one thing to have talent, but it's another to harness it correctly, and so far, the Raiders are starting to do exactly that. Continuing with the Raiders, let's talk about the kind of depth and flexibility this team is starting to show. When you look at the running back situation, it's easy to get caught up in the big names and flashy stats. But the real strength is in the rotation, the ability to mix talent and keep the defense guessing. Ashton Jensen has become the focal point, no doubt about it, but having someone like Raheem Mower ready to come in and change the pace adds a dimension that keeps opponents on their heels. You can't just stack the box and assume you've solved the run game, because Mower brings a burst and a shift that can flip the field in seconds. That's the kind of complementary threat that allows Jensen to thrive without being overexposed or worn down over the long haul. And speaking of threats, the wide receiver room is entering a moment of scrutiny and opportunity. Jacoby Meyer's situation has everyone talking, and rightfully so. You've got a player who's in the final year of his contract, generating interest across the league, yet still part of the Raiders' current plan. Injuries have sidelined him at critical times, creating questions about availability, but when he's on the field, he's a weapon. The Raiders are facing a balancing act. Do you move him now and capitalize on market interest? Or do you hold him, knowing his talent can influence critical games in the season? This kind of scenario is what makes the front office's job so challenging. Every decision ripples through the team, impacting chemistry, momentum, and ultimately wins. Meanwhile, the defense has been showing flashes of dominance that fans have been craving. Devin White's presence is felt not only through his tackles and coverage, but in the attitude he brings. Confidence is contagious, and having a defensive leader who can stand up to elite quarterbacks and still command his unit is invaluable. You watch him step onto the field, eyes locked on the offense, and you know that the players around him are feeding off that intensity. It's not just about skill, it's about mindset. The Raiders have been cultivating a culture where the young players see what it means to compete at the highest level every week. One of the things that's striking this season is how the Raiders are blending youth with experience. It's a delicate balance. The rookies are learning, growing, and adjusting to the speed of the NFL, while the veterans are providing guidance without overshadowing or restricting the young talent. That dynamic is exactly what can transform a good team into a great one. Watching a rookie running back like Jensen step into a heavier workload while still being supported by Mower and the offensive line shows that the coaching staff is being smart with player development and game planning. There's a strategy here, a method to the madness, and it's starting to show results on the field. Looking at upcoming matchups, there's an undeniable excitement. When you face teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the stakes are higher, the intensity ramps up, and every player is tested. The Raiders are in that spot now, where confidence and preparation must intersect. The offense has the opportunity to establish the run, control the tempo, and keep defenses honest. At the same time, the defense needs to leverage its experience and resilience to pressure the quarterback, contain explosive plays, and win the battles in the trenches. Every play, every snap becomes part of a larger narrative that could define the season. There's also an element of unpredictability that works in the Raiders' favor. When opponents underestimate the team or misread tendencies, the Raiders have a chance to capitalize. That's where the combination of young, hungry talent and seasoned veterans creates an advantage. You've got players willing to take risks, make plays, and execute without hesitation, and you've got leaders making sure those decisions are disciplined and smart. It's a synergy that, when executed correctly, can lead to upsets, close wins, and even statement victories. Off the field, the energy around the Raiders is building too. Fans are noticing the momentum, the flashes of brilliance, and the way the team is starting to define itself. There's a connection between the team and its supporters, a sense that everyone is part of the ride. It's not just about the big names, it's about the culture, the mindset, and the belief that every game is an opportunity. That mentality is what separates teams that falter under pressure from teams that find ways to win even when the odds are stacked against them. Special teams and depth players are starting to play bigger roles as well. Games aren't won solely by the starters. Contributions from all 53 players can tip the balance. Whether it's a key tackle on a punt return, a critical block on a running play, or a clutch reception from a backup receiver, the Raiders are showing that their roster has more layers than some teams might realize. The coaching staff's ability to deploy these players effectively, giving them confidence and clarity on their roles, adds another layer of sophistication to the team. As the season progresses, all eyes are going to be on how the Raiders handle the grind. Injuries, fatigue, and the intensity of divisional matchups will test the roster in ways early season games cannot. The key will be adaptability. How well the team can adjust its approach, rotate players, and manage workloads without losing effectiveness. Players like Jensen and Mower will be central to that strategy, but it's the collective effort from veteran leaders to emerging talent that will ultimately determine the trajectory of the season. And it's not just about wins and losses. It's about growth, culture, and laying the foundation for sustained success. When a team can develop its young stars while maintaining competitiveness, that's a sign of something more significant happening behind the scenes. The Raiders are showing glimpses of this now, and if they continue to make smart decisions, stay healthy, and execute in key moments, there's a lot to be optimistic about. Even as the trade rumors swirl, the focus on player development and in-game performance remains paramount. Every decision, whether it's about moving a player like Jacoby Myers or keeping a young back like Mower active, reflects a commitment to building a team that's not just reactive but proactive, capable of competing with the best week in and week out. It's about seeing the bigger picture while managing the details that matter on the field. Right now, the Raiders are creating a narrative of resilience, growth, and opportunity. There are challenges ahead, no doubt, but the pieces are in place for a team that can surprise, compete, and evolve into something formidable. The blend of youth, experience, strategy, and confidence is beginning to take shape, and the next few games are going to be critical in determining just how far this team can go. Raider Nation, buckle up, because what we're witnessing is the formation of a team that's not only finding its rhythm, but is also ready to push the boundaries of expectation. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be one of the most eyebrow-raising moves of the NFL season, whispers around league circles suggest that the Las Vegas Raiders have swooped in to acquire cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. from the Los Angeles Chargers. The mere thought has already sent shockwaves through fan bases and sports analysts alike, igniting debates on social media about the implications for both teams' defensive schemes. While official confirmation is still pending, sources close to team insiders hint that discussions have been intense, with the Raiders reportedly offering draft capital and future considerations that the Chargers found hard to resist. Samuel Jr., who has been turning heads with his ability to lock down top receivers and make pivotal plays, is said to have been a target for several teams. But Las Vegas's aggressive pursuit appears to have paid off. The potential move raises immediate questions. How will Samuel Jr. fit into the Raiders' secondary? And what does this mean for a Chargers squad looking to maintain their defensive identity? Raiders fans are already buzzing with speculation, imagining a revamped backfield that could elevate their defense to new heights. Meanwhile, Chargers supporters are nervously calculating how the loss of such a talented corner could affect their passing game and overall season trajectory. Industry insiders are pointing to Samuel Jr.'s versatility and football IQ as key reasons why the Raiders might have prioritized this acquisition. Known for his sharp instincts and ability to read quarterbacks, he could provide a much-needed spark for a Raiders defense that has had its fair share of highs and lows. Analysts are also noting that his presence could shift matchups in the Raiders' favor, potentially making them a more formidable opponent in the AFC West. Of course, until the trade is officially announced, all of this remains in the realm of speculation. But the chatter is impossible to ignore. If this deal goes through, it could mark a turning point in the Raiders season and set the stage for some heated divisional showdowns. One thing is certain. The NFL rumor mill is alive and well, and Asante Samuel Jr. is at the center of the storm. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.